my friends, it's Amy Rich with amyrich.net. I could not resist using Cottage Rose one more time. I have not used it enough in the last year that it has been available, and currently it's on the last chance list, still available as a bundle with its coordinating dies. You can also still get the designer series paper, which we're going to feature today. So we're just going to make some quick note cards and then a folder in which to put them. And this is going to make a great gift. So let's get started. And we're going to start actually with the very vanilla cards, note cards and envelopes. And they come in a package of 20, and these are rising in price as of May 2nd. So get your hands on some of these along with the white ones because they make quick and easy cards, as we're going to show you here. So I'm going to start with one of those note cards. And one thing I notice every once in a while with these note cards is that the score line is off. Who cares? I'm just going to flip it and use it. So as long as the overhang is on the top, I'm not going to worry too much about that. You can refold it if you wish, but I'm not going to bother. So I'm using my MEMENTO ink, and I'm just going to stamp this largest flower, which is my favorite and the flower I've used the most. And that's just going to go right here, a little bit down from center on the card. And then grabbing my blending brush and crumb cake ink, I'm going to add a little bit of color. Now, I'm just using the color scheme that is found on the DSP, the Abigail Rose, which is also still available. But I'm kind of just mimicking that DSP. And that's going to work out really well for me, I think. So I'm going to start by getting some ink, and I'll just grab a scratch paper and get some of that ink off so it's not like boom in your face right away. But I'm just going to go, I'm going to start in the middle and then just kind of work my way around the rose. And then I'll go back in and just saturate the center a little bit more so it highlights it. You can see that there. And then taking a piece of 1x5 designer series paper, because our note cards end up 3.5 by 5. I'm just going to add some of this along the edge. So this is the same DSP I'm going to use for the folder part of this project. And I'm just going to create a border down the side. Then, see, I'm using a bunch of last chance items, and the DSP, of course, and the bundle is included. And then the Label Me Fancy punch. I am going to just punch out one of those out of Very Vanilla cardstock. And then just take my Best Wishes stamp from the stamp set and ink that up and stamp it on the label. Now, you can also stamp and then cut out if you wish. We learned that way back when, and I kind of went against the rules here and did it that way. Then I am going to add this onto my card with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Well, sort of. And I say sort of because I am actually just going to put a couple dimensionals on the back, but not attach it. It can go down here, up here, wherever we decide, and I will fill you in on this in just a little bit. So I have done 4 of these cards and then envelopes to coordinate. Let me just quickly show you how I did that. I take my envelope, and like I said, this is the note cards and envelopes, so they come together in a pack, and it works out perfectly to have them coordinate, scored, ready to go. And I am just adding adhesive to the flap, and then the DSP 2 inches wide is perfect. And then I'm just going to take my snips and trim out around the envelope flap. And then we've got ourselves a really sweet envelope. All right, so I'm going to set these aside because next we are going to make the folder in which these are going to go. So you will need a full sheet of 12 by 12 designer series paper. I got this idea from Priscilla's Paper Crafts, and she says in her video that it has kind of morphed. She wanted to make it a little bit different than the people previous to her. So I'm going to give her the credit for this one. And because my paper isn't really directional, I'm not going to worry about which way I have it when I score it here. But I'm going to score it at 1 3/4. And be careful when you do scoring on designer series paper. If you push too hard, it can rip. And then 5 3/4 next. And then I'm going to open it up, the trimmer here, and 6 1/4. So just a little bit further. And then 10 1/4. And that might be off camera. Oh, not quite. Good. And then I am going to turn, just pivot it 90 degrees. And I'm going to score from the other direction at 2 1/2 and 8 1/4. Now, one important piece of this project here is going to be my bone folder. So have something that will give you a nice crease. I am going to start by folding on all of the creases, and I think flipping it to the more solid side maybe makes it just a little bit easier. So I'm going to do both ends. And then I think there are a couple in the center here. What is great about this folder is that there is no adhesive involved. It's like origami. We're gonna put it all together without adhesive. And then 2 folds this direction. And one side is shorter than the other, and it's meant to be that way. So, okay, so now we're gonna go back to each corner, and we are going to fold in the corner. Actually, hold on here, let me see. Nope. We're going to fold in the corner so that it goes up to the score line. And actually, I think, yeah, this will be how I do it. You can decide which side you want more showing, but both sides are going to show. So you're going to want to make sure that they coordinate. And I'm going to just fold that corner up again so that it goes right up next to the score line here and makes a triangle tag here. And we want to be able to fold this over without it impeding the progress of that fold. So just right up to that score line without going over it is perfect. So we're going to do all 4 corners like that. And our bone folder makes the crease really quick and easy. Okay, so then we are going to fold these over and give that a good crease. And then we're going to take this side and flip it over. And then we're going to flip this longer side back. And we're going to make sure it's got a nice crease, and go ahead and crease where you've already creased so that we can kind of get everything to lay as flat as we can. Okay, and then this side is going to come down, and we're going to really give that a good crease as well. Things are looking like they're folding pretty well. And now you can see they overlap just a little bit. So what you'll do is you'll take the short side and you'll pop that underneath the long side. Thus, no adhesive. That's pretty clever, don't you think? And then you'll fold on these center lines that go the other direction. And again, if you need to kind of force the fold to get it to lay a little bit flatter, that's okay. So you can see here I've got my folder. Now, you might say you want this side over here, okay? So then all you have to do is flip it around, fold the dog ears in the other direction, and do the same thing on the other side. It's not going to hurt anything to change your tune once you've got it together. And then you'll take and flip it over so it's all one color on that side. Flip the long side, flip the short side, and then you're just going to tuck the short side in so that if you decide you want, you want it like this instead, then you can just make that happen. All right, so if this buckling a little bit bothers you, you can adhere these pockets on there. You don't really need this loose pocket here, so you can certainly do that. But now we're going to bring in our cards and envelopes, and we're going to add 2 to each side. This is such a cute project. We're just going to tuck those in. And I need one more envelope. There we are. And then, we'll tuck these in over here. And you say, but wait, you don't have your sentiments. Well, that's because I am going to put in different sentiments. So feel better soon, best wishes, it's going to be fab. And you can put them in a little baggie like this with the dimensionals on. And then the recipient of your little gift here can decide what they want each card to say, which is kind of a cool thing, rather than give them a set of cards that says something specific that they don't really want to use. And I should have put them all in at once. All right, we'll get them all tucked in there. And then you can seal that if it's a Ziploc, and then tuck that into one of the pockets so that they can use whatever they want. I love that idea. Okay, and now to decorate the front, I kept it really simple. I stamped my large flower again in Memento ink. And then this time I used the large die to cut that out with my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And then the last chance list also has my layering circles, which makes me very sad. But I cut out the largest scallop circle in basic black. We're just going to add that to the front. I love how blacks and browns and grays all work together like one happy family in this designer series paper. It makes me happy. So get your hands on these while you can. If you watch this by Wednesday, April 19th, 2023, you can take advantage of free shipping just for April 19th only. So we're adding some dimensionals here, and then just our sweet little flower on top. Now, of course, you can embellish in different ways if you wish. I wanted this project to be simple and easy to put together. So I hope you enjoy that neat little folder, and thank you for watching.